Hey guys, Chad here with the Reptile Rangers. Now we're at the Kernersville Reptile Zoo and Medical Center again today, and we're going to talk about not wasting your money. All right. Now there's a lot of controversy in certain products and things that you can get. Some people will tell you, oh, you need to get stuff here, you need to get stuff there, you have to get it here, you have to get it there. So we're going to talk about some of the things that you really are probably wasting your money on by buying from a big chain pet store that you just legitimately don't have to buy. And some of those items are even going to be a big waste of money to begin with. Okay. Now, before we get into that, right there in that corner is our subscriber button. If you're on a cell phone, you're going to have to widen that screen up, go to the full screen, and you'll see the subscriber button there, or just hit the word subscribe right underneath the video. We appreciate you doing that. And for those of you that's already subscribed, we appreciate your subscription and following along week after week after week. All right, so let's talk about this, okay? So you go into a pet store, you go into one of the big corporate stores, as it were, and you see all these products that look cool. You know, they have purpose, at least from what the description tells you, or the picture tells you, or from what you're trying to set up inside of your habitat. But most people don't realize that 9 times out of 10, you really are wasting your money by buying from the big corporate stores. You can find a lot of these products somewhere else, or even do it for free. Certain things for free. Take things such as this, okay? And there's going to be another episode that we do that'll talk about just bad products. Well, this is a bad product right here, okay? This is the biggest waste of money, one of the biggest wastes of money that you can buy inside of a major pet store. A plastic analog thermometer. They're absolute junk, whether the hygrometer or thermometer or the dual combo. They're junk. They're absolute waste of time, and I've even seen them be as much as 10 degrees off a lot of the times, okay? If you're going to go with something out of the pet store, and again, I don't really suggest it because, of course, you're supporting corporate America versus more of your locally owned stuff. But whatever, that's neither here nor there in this particular video. But if you're going to go the route of buying something, don't buy this waste of junk, okay? What you want to buy is something like this, which is a digital thermometer. Now, there's a couple of different styles of digital thermometers that you can get. One is a temperature gun. Another one is what we call a digital thermometer with a probe on the end of it, like this one right here. Or you can do any other style of digital thermometer reading systems, okay? Those are much better. It needs to be digital. I'll tell you another one that's a big waste of time is this one right here. This stick-on. That's only really meant for aquariums with water in it, and even then, those things are not the greatest. And so, with that being said, these products right here, these two right here, all right, I'm going to show you again. These plastic ones or these strip ones are just a big waste of time. Not to mention the fact if you want to get them, you can get them for half the price on Amazon. All right, so let's be real. Okay? Product number 2 is this right here. A lot of your really cool greenery and vine stuff. You're going to go into a pet store and you're going to spend a ton of money on these items right here. When honestly, you could go to a hobby shop, or you could go to like a Benjamin Franklin. I mean, you can go to all these different little, what we call little knick-knack shops, consignment shops, places like that, hobby shops, and they're going to have these kind of products for half the price. The same exact things, and if not the same exact thing, then things that are similar, products that are similar, okay? So, again, just a big waste of money, all right? Now, product number 3 is this. The old starter kit. All right, let's be crystal clear. Let me ask you something. Are you going to set a tropical species up the exact same way you're going to set up a desert species? Then starter kits don't quite work. For one thing, they got those garbage thermometers in it. They all come with the same wattage light bulb. Well, that light bulb may only work for about 25% of your heat bulb. It may only work for about 25% of the reptiles that you can get from them. If it's a desert species, it's going to need a whole lot more than what comes in this kit. If it's a subtropical species like a crested gecko, it's going to be too much. Okay? This starter kit is the biggest waste of money. It's the biggest consumer suckers. I mean, just the biggest consumer item that just people get suckered into buying, okay? Thinking, oh man, I can get the starter kit, I can get it dirt cheap. You would be better off doing your research and piecing your habitat together. It would actually come out to be cheaper because when you buy that starter kit right there, only about 2 or 3 items in it's useful. The aquarium itself, the lamp, every once in a while the bulb, and then probably the water dish or something else that may come inside of that. Everything else, you just wasted your money on it, okay? So again, this is product number 3. Not to mention the fact, generally speaking, these stupid starter kits are only meant and only going to really work for a few species and babies at that, because these 20-gallon tanks just can only hold certain things for so long before you're going to end up having to get something bigger anyways. Product number 4, okay? Big waste of money. You go in, you're looking for feeders. They have these cups. There's cups full of, could be mealworms, superworms, could be whatever. The problem is, okay, cool, no big deal. The problem is you buy that cup and over half of the bugs inside of it are dead. You wasted your money. Go to one of your locally owned pet shops, or you can even go to a local breeder, something like that sell them individually. Even here at our zoo, we hand pick them. So when we send them out, we're picking them, we're counting them by the dozen. When you go to the big store, again, your biggest issue you're going to run into is that a good portion of the feeder insects that you're trying to buy are going to be dead. So you may as well just go take a lighter and just start lighting your money up, because that's all you're doing is just burning it, just pissing it down the drain. Decorative items, okay? We talked about some of the greenery, but when we talk about decorative items, like inside of your habitat, sticks, logs, rocks, things like that, big waste of money when you go to a pet store, because every one of those boulders, and those are adult dragons, okay? Those dragons are from here to here, all right? They're big dragons. But every one of those boulders that we've got in there were free, okay? So a lot of the products you can put inside of a habitat, you can get for free, all right? Understand, there's several ways in which to deal with them. We have an episode on dealing with natural wood, things like that. You can go back and look through those episodes there. And I'll tell you now, if you have a conventional oven that your housing items can fit into, 200 degrees for 2 hours, and it'll kill every parasite on there, and you can utilize the free stuff versus going and buying those very expensive decorative items or wooden, rocky items that the pet stores tend to sell. Number 5 in the is really one of those controversial topics that a lot of people talk about, which is calcium sand. That is the biggest waste of money that I've ever seen in my life. It really is. If you're going to use sand, which is fine, there's no problem and nothing wrong with using sand. I mean, of course, our answer to people when they start talking about, oh, well, you can't put certain things on sand because they'll get impacted. Most of the time they're talking about desert species, and my response is, what do you think they're on in the desert, moron? Okay, so again, yes, you can use sand. There's nothing wrong with using sand, but the biggest problem with the calcium sand for animals like dragons, especially bearded dragons, is they will tend to lick it more. So impaction can come from the calcium sand because they're taking more of it in, because there is a little bit of a flavor to it. If you're using something like regular old playground sand, things like that, yeah, it's not going to happen. They go around every once in a while, they'll taste it, but again, if it doesn't taste good, then why do it again? I mean, these animals ain't stupid. They've been surviving for much longer than we have, okay? So again, you can utilize natural stuff like that, but the calcium sand is so doggone expensive. Big waste of money, big no-no product. Just go down to Lowe's, go get yourself a bag, or Home Depot, get yourself a bag of the playground sand and run with that. All right, now number 6 and the last one. World's worst product, hands down, is this right here. This is known as the heat rock. One of the absolute worst things you could ever buy. Not to mention the fact they short circuit a lot of the times and cause burning in your animals, but there's so many better products such as heat tape, heat cable, the Zoo Med heat pads. Even those are not that great. They'll start to short circuit too and start to charbroil. You'll actually find them burning. If you ever have paid any attention to any people that have put up pictures of their Zoo Med pads where the built-in thermostat goes bad and it starts actually burning and charbroiling from the outside. Always make sure if you're going to use some kind of a belly heat source that you're putting a thermometer or a thermostat and a thermostat with it. Now, Again, bad, horrible product right there is the Heat Rock. Do not waste your money on those. They should not even be selling these things anymore, but they are. This is Chad. We are the Kernersville Reptile Zoo and Medical Center. We did want to do an episode that starts doing some stuff, not only in education, but talks about ways in which you can save money. There is ways in which you can save money. Yes, okay, fine. Some of the things that you get from the pet store, you can get from the pet store. Maybe it's local, maybe it's more convenient. Light bulbs, your heat bulbs, you can use a regular old incandescent bulb the same as you can use one of those really expensive directional bulbs. That's 3 times the cost. Okay, so if it produces heat, it produces light, and it produces the amount of temperature that you want, it doesn't matter how that's accomplished. The UVB bulbs, yes, those are specific. Those you have to get from specific places, whether through Amazon or whether you just suck it up and go to one of the local pet stores. Fine, so be it, whatever. You're going to pay more. But again, this is about trying to save you money. This hobby is not supposed to be expensive. It doesn't have to be expensive. The only reason it makes it expensive is because of your corporate funded and corporate backed organizations that raise the cost on everything and charge a whole lot more than what they really should for products that quite honestly don't last that long or just are useless to begin with. So do your research and know if you see something there, granted you're probably going to be able to find it cheaper somewhere else or an alternative to it that is pretty close to what you're looking for somewhere else for a fraction of the cost. So again, we appreciate you following along. Hopefully this has been helpful. This is Chad. We are the Reptile Rangers here at the Kernersville Reptile Zoo and Medical Center. Make sure to hit the like, hit the subscribe button, make sure to hit the bell for notification. Our information will be in the description below for those that need to get in touch with us. We appreciate you following along week after week after week. Make sure to write us in. Let us know of other things you want us to film about. We are trying to get caught up with requests that people have in different videos. And so we'll either see you here at the zoo or we'll see you on the next episode. Later.